And then we got to the basketball game, and we were in like the third row, and then Blake Griffin and the people from the Clippers showed up and sat in front of us, and then Luke Walton showed up, and then I was on the Jumbotron, and then Luke Walton was on the Jumbotron, and then we yelled at Luke Walton, and then we beat Arizona at the last minute, and then we went to Chick-fil-A, and then I got a Tommy Trojan bobblehead, and it was awesome.
And all this was yesterday.
Yeah, and then these showed up.
So you're having the trip of your life, and I'm stuck in my room watching the endless loop of Phil Ivey's LAPC victory from 2 or 3 years ago.
He's not kidding. There's a channel on this television station in the hotel that plays Phil Ivey's win over and over and over again.
Keep waiting for something different to happen, but it never does.
Phil Ivey's awesome. Cupcake?
I will, actually. Oh, wait, 1 second. Go ahead.
All right.
We're into the show?
We are. We're here at the LAPC, as we've established, in the beautiful city of LA. And we are bringing you a nice little preview we'd like to call LAPC Confidential with Jess and BJ. It's off the record, on the QT, and very hush-hush.
And slightly 1997. Go ahead.
Don't judge me.
All right, so we're at the LAPC, which is a very long tournament.
Yes, it was going when we were at Beau Rivage. Prelims had started for this when we were doing the Southern Poker Championship, and now we have gone through the 40-something prelims leading up to the main event. There's 100 qualifiers, and we're here ready for the big show.
Now, when you're not playing WPT Celebrity Invitationals and not going to greatest basketball games of your life, you were here early covering the prelims.
I was. I came back from Biloxi, took a few days at home, and then I got to come out here and cover some of the prelims.
Got to.
I had a good time.
Okay.
Now, before we move on to the LAPC, though, I have a little point to discuss about the Southern Poker Championship.
Oh, this is where we settle up.
Sort of. So, yes, BJ won our fantasy draft. However...
BJ is undefeated in the fantasy draft. Let's just throw that out there.
No, that's not true. I won the first one.
Where you changed the rules after we picked our teams.
Okay, yeah, if you're going to whine about
saying.
this one, then
Well,
I'm going to file my complaint right here, which is this.
Once again, changing the rules after we make the bread.
Are you going to let me talk? Here, eat your cupcake.
I am.
All right, so... The bookie will oftentimes be at the final table with us to monitor the situation, make sure everything's going all right with the bet. Bear with me here. The bookie looks at, we have a monitor in our little area where you can see the cards on the screen.
This is a long story.
And on occasion, the bookie, in times of need, when things are going and taking a long time, will use this very magic index finger, place his finger where the river card should go, and bear influence on whether someone will win or lose a big pot that might expedite the process. Having some sort of moment of absolute mental lapse, the bookie did that during a pivotal hand of the Southern Poker Championship, and as soon as the finger touched the screen, I went, bets off. And it was not like, oh, my guy was way behind. It was very much a coin flippy kind of situation. Bet completely off. I'm not paying up. The bookie can buy you a hot dog as he tampered with the bet.
Can I point out that the bookie does this all the time and usually
he
it
only
doesn't
does
do
it
anything?
like one hand a tournament, and it almost always goes
Also,
the
to the
direction.
arbiters out there, is somebody in the middle of a bet just allowed to randomly say bets off at any point
If
they want?
Okay,
no,
all right, if you
they
have a
have
bet
to
on a
buy
basketball
out.
game and
They
you find
have
out
to
it's
buy out.
rigged, are you allowed to buy out of the bet at this point in
We
time?
didn't bet on whether it was rigged. We bet on the end result. The
Anyways,
end result,
it was
I
rigged,
won.
and so
End result, I won.
we're
Rigged,
gonna keep
you should have
doing-
factored that into it.
We're going to keep doing these over-unders, but I'm watching you, bookie, because something's not on the up and up here.
This is total BS. You're doing all this just to get out of buying me a damn hot dog.
Today's over-under...
You've had the trip of a lifetime. All I get is a damn hot dog, and you're not even going to let me have that? Really?
You get
Because
a hot
of
dog,
somebody's
but the
magic
bookie's
finger?
buying it
'Cause he-
for you.
Okay, this is just off the rails absurd. Okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
Please move on now. Total number of
Sorry I
participants
delayed us so long.
in the field today is our over-under, and the total number of participants in the event, the bookie has set a questionably dubious line of 673.
Did you say how many were here last year?
Last year we had 745. I think consensus is we'll probably have a few less this year.
Yeah, nobody's expecting to beat last year's number, but what will the number be? I'll let you go first since you're just going to cheat anyway and change the
It
rules
doesn't matter
halfway
what I
through.
pick because the bookie's going to go out there and turn people away or give them 10 grand to come play. So, with
Wow.
that in mind, I'm going to take the over because I just like to be optimistic about this, and I think that with registration is open through the entirety of day one, the first 5 levels, that we will have people who see how many qualifiers they are that might come in and play or come upstairs from the cash games that might not have otherwise.
I think 673 is a really good line. It could go either way, but just to annoy you, I'm going to go the other way. So there, be annoyed.
I'm sure you'll go help him, Mr. Bookie.
By the way, in your big story about the last final table and how it was all rigged, could we point out that Alexander Kuzmin won and he deserved it because he played
Yes, and
really
Alexander
well and all
did a
that?
great job and more power to him.
Even though it was, quote, rigged according to Jess, but not because of him. Absurd, really.
So, LAPC
If I was
has
Alexander
a very
Kuzmin, I would-
storied history of really good champions in the past.
Yes, for the LAPC main event, we have had big name champions. This is usually one of the biggest events of the WPT schedule, one of the biggest prizes.
Yeah.
Early
Really,
on.
outside of the championship, I think it's probably the biggest event. Like we said, it's so big that there is an entire channel devoted to one episode of it.
Previous champions, Gus Hansen, Antonio Sfondiari,
Ivy, of course.
Alan Gehring, Phil Ivey, Cornell Simpan, Eric Hirschler,
Grinder.
Michael Mizraki, and
Last year's champ.
Andres Karakny.
Yes.
And I think that takes us to 8, and this is 9.
Yes.
I don't think I missed anybody. Pat on my back.
Nicely done.
Was that rigged? Good.
This is never going to stop. Is it?
It was a little rigged because I had a cheat sheet.
Oh, look who cheated! Look who had cue cards. Oh, look how smart I am. With my
You
magic
couldn't see it.
finger.
And this only had 4 of the 8.
It only had half of them. It's hardly help.
Yeah, watch this back. My eyes never move.
All right, so this series, it's kind of cool. They take the pictures of all the prelim winners and they're lining the tournament area. There have been tons of events, lots of good people. Had several women win events and make final tables, which I was excited to see. And then it also has a lot of cool events because Matt Savage likes to
mix things up and try new
stuff.
things.
There's the Iron Man event, which plays out without breaks, meals at the table, and if you need to go and take a break, you have to do it on your own time and miss hands. And Nikolai Evdokov won that one and another one. The big Heads Up event, the 5K Heads Up, which this year ended up being Scott Seaver and Nick Rampone in the finals, and Nick Rampone ended up winning that. So
From the losers bracket.
yes, congratulations to him.
Also,
surprised it was not that neither Chris Moore nor Vivek Rajkumar were in there, but I don't think Vivek played.
I haven't seen him yet.
And I'm not sure if Chris Moore did or not, because this was one of the periods.
They had made the heads-up match the previous 2 years
Yes.
in a very big, very tough heads-up field, which is impressive. Isn't there also a 25K?
The high roller will happen during the not a heads up, a high roller event.
Okay.
Last year's winner in that was Daniel Alayi, had a really good field, so there's even more post-lim action coming in addition to the prelims. There's a really cool player of the series race where there's cash prizes for the people who get the most points. The main event, high roller qualify for that.
Right.
So there's basically moral of the story is, in addition to the people who make this final table, there's other people with things at stake too that will not pan out until the very end.
Okay.
All right, I think we've kind of given you the dealio on
They're
what's
as
going
prepped
on here.
for this event as they can be.
Yes, which means we still have a little time before play starts to go see the sights of LA, which brings us to our question of the day. BJ,
Yes.
what is your favorite Los Angeles landmark?
I thought the Hollywood sign was cool the first time I saw it, but has to go to the Hollywood Bowl. Because when I was a kid, I always saw this on the, not the Simpsons, the Flintstones. And they called it the Holly Rock Bowl. And on the Flintstones, it was this giant clamshell thing. And I always thought that was because it was the Flintstones. They had to turn it into some kind of rock
like
thing.
that.
And the first time I went there, went to see some cool concert or something, and it was actually a clamshell. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's, you hang out in the late evening, have kind of picnic-style seating. Had a kick-ass time. I've been there probably a dozen times. Loved it every time.
Yeah, shameless plug for the Hollywood Bowl. If you've never been, it is so much fun. Amazing musicians and concerts.
Saw John Williams conduct Star Wars.
I saw
Not the original. I'm not quite that old.
I saw Neil Patrick Harris's Rent that he directed there last summer. It's great because you can bring food and stuff in, have a picnic. It's a lot of fun. That being said, it's not my LA landmark.
Okay.
You can probably guess where I'm going with this.
I have no idea.
I'm a serious USC alum, a serious USC fan. How can you not pick, in the middle of campus, our beautiful statue to our mascot, Tommy Trojan? Little known fact about our little statue. it's impossible to mimic the pose that Tommy Trojan is in because humans can't flex all of their muscles at the same time, and all of Tommy's muscles are flexed.
So you're saying you're less flexible than a statue?
No, I'm saying that he's godlike and he can achieve what most humans can't.
Or he's just like Gumby, and Gumby is more flexible than he is. See, I went to UCLA.
How dare you equate
I could care
Tommy
less about
Trojan with
USC.
Gumby? Yours is a baby bear. It's not even intimidating.
It's a badass baby. Have you ever fought a baby bear? I think you would be intimidated.
Have you fought a baby bear?
No, because I'm a Bruin. I am friend of the baby bears. I'm
You're
also
like
a
grizzly
bulldog,
man.
by
You're the
way.
grizzly man of the poker community. You just go live with the bears.
Not of the poker community, but yes.
You've lived with bears.
I've lived with lots of things.